Arizona now, two of the closest races in the country, one for governor, the other for U.S. Senate, following multiple complaints of intimidation at ballot drop boxes. A federal judge appointed by former President Trump has now ordered armed members of a group called Clean Elections USA and other self-described watchdog groups to keep their distance from voters. Correspondent Robert Sherman is live in Phoenix. And Robert, this is really a big issue there.
It is, and when you think about it, Nicole, a big drawing factor of all this, there's a lot on the line here in this election. There are so many key races around the country, which are almost certainly going to determine who controls the United States Senate in Washington. Here in Arizona, that's especially the case. The state of Arizona shocked the political world when it was called for President Joe Biden in the 2020 election. A once reliably red state now finds itself solidly in the toss-up category. But still lingering over the Grand Canyon state are unproven claims of voter fraud in the 2020 election, some taking matters into their own hands. Two armed people were discovered outside a drop box in Maricopa County in October, the state's largest county, which is home to Phoenix. A temporary restraining order was granted Tuesday to stop members of the organization responsible from coming close to drop boxes or open carrying firearms near them. Meanwhile, Rolling Stone reporting that former President Trump is preparing to challenge election results in Pennsylvania and other states if the midterms do not go the GOP's way. Despite that, in an exclusive NewsNation Decision Desk HQ poll, nearly 80% of respondents said they have a great deal or fair amount of trust in the accuracy of the upcoming 2022 midterm election results. Just 16% say they don't have very much trust, and 5% don't have any trust at all. Republicans and independents were significantly more likely than Democrats to say they did not have much trust. When asked how secure they believe mail-in voting to be, 39% said very secure. 30% said somewhat secure, but a combined 31% said not very secure or not at all secure. When asked what percentage of mail-in ballots they believe are fraudulent, a majority said less than 5%. The rest believe it's higher than that, with a quarter of respondents saying they believe more than 1 in 10 mail-in ballots is fraudulent. But both Republicans and Democrats surveyed greatly overestimated the number of fraudulent mail-in ballots turned in during a typical election cycle. A 2020 Associated Press investigation found fewer than 475 potential cases out of 25.5 million ballots cast in the states of Georgia, Arizona, Michigan, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. So Cochise County, which is in southeast Arizona, says they want to count every single ballot by hand in order to ensure accuracy. That move is now being challenged in the courts, contending that it's okay to hand count the election day ballots, but not the early voting ballots. We'll see how all that shakes out in the coming days. Nicole?
We certainly will. Okay. Robert, thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.